So if the connection gets a bit choppy for a minute, I'm going to the front so I can hear the speaker. I've always needed glasses, I just had them broke for about a year. So I'm gonna go get a video as they come walk down. Smash the like, share it out. So I haven't had your comments up, I'll look at them now. Oh, sorry mate. Got the comments up now, if anyone wants to shove any questions or anything across, anything I can answer without giving me opinion. If you mean again about it being killable again, yeah, it's killable. It's not been one for a while now. I think the last one was a few months ago. Thank you for the shares, Calla. I'm not sure where the march is going next, but I'll be staying live anyway, so just keep an eye on the live, you'll be able to catch up to it.
Oh, I want to trust the Tory with my chest! Oh, I want to trust the Tory!
Thank you for the share, Darren. I'm going to start doing a new thing from this protest as well, from every other protest now on. Smash the heart button if you agree with the protest, and the laugh and react if you disagree. So, heart button react if you agree, laugh and react if you disagree. I'm going to start doing that with every protest. So this is Manchester, not London. Trying out a new thing for this, starting from this protest, some of the other protests are known. Smash the heart button if you agree with the protest and the laughing button if you disagree. Cheers Divine, hope all's well with you. So I haven't had the YouTube chat open, hello to everyone on YouTube. Just refreshed it then. Hello to I'm a little man. And who else is on YouTube? Harvin. Oh no, that's a fake.
justice, no peace.
Sorry. Bought myself a good Cheers.
I'm a Gypsy.
Yeah, you too.
A new thing for a few weeks now on the next few streams to do. Doing heart react if you agree with the protest, laughing react if you disagree with the protest, on Facebook if you're watching. So heart react if you agree and laugh react if you disagree. we're near Spinning Fields, the hospital town. Gonna come up to near Deansgate in a minute. I don't know whether we turn left before Deansgate or carry on. I don't know the route. Yeah, we're coming up on the road leading to Deansgate Locks. Where the cinemas, AMC cinema used to be. I'll be catching up with it in a minute, just getting to the front of it, so I'll cut the fin out of the way. Not blocking your shot here, am I?
TKE in the house.
Yeah, right, man. Ryan. Ryan, how long have you been here? How long have you been here? First time I've seen you. I've got it. Yeah, I've got it. Oh yeah, yeah, so.
Just start to get up there now from there.
I'll be covering the one in Manchester in the 22nd. I've seen the poster for that one. Any other protests, though, let me know. I don't always hear about protests, so if I don't know about them and they're in Manchester, I'll try to get down to them. No promises about Telford yet, but I'm going to try and make it to Telford, depending if I've got enough spare money. It's quite a bit on the train to get down there. Thank you.
And we all want to say thank you to the protest is a party, and they bring the music. Big up, big up, big up, everybody. We're so happy that you're here today. We're going to get some more speakers on, but one more massive round of applause for the Right, everyone. Everyone's warm from the walk, aren't we? So we're going to listen to the rest of our amazing speakers. Follow me over to the benches. Watch out for the access area. Make space. Stay safe. Let's have a chat. Who's going to lead some chants while I'm waiting for my speakers? Streets! 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 Refugees are welcome here! Say it loud, say it clear! Refugees are welcome here! 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 Thank you everyone, Manchester, you are beautiful! So, we have got a treat today, because this police crime and sentencing clause bill wants to take our way of life away when it comes to protest. And you know why? Because direct action works. Direct action has given us weekends, it's given us so many different rights. And you know what? There is a group that are here in our midst. Amazing win. An amazing win. Now we've all got something to learn from this group. Dedication, the long game, strategizing, working together, keeping the people who need it the most at the forefront of the movement. And that group is Manchester Palestine Action! Hello Manchester! My name is Huda Mori and I'm a co-founder of Palestine Action. I'm also proudly Palestinian and Iraqi, and I grew up in Bolton, so not far from here. Elbit Systems, Israel's largest arms company, have got factories and offices across Britain where they're literally making weapons that they market as battle tested.
battle tested because they've been tested on the captive population of Gaza, who've been held under an illegal blockade and occupation for far too long, which this government has continued to support since its inception. We protested, we petitioned, we campaigned, we did everything they tell you you're supposed to do to get justice, and they ignored us. So we went and set up Palestine Action and took direct action against every single one of Elbit Systems sites here in Britain. We went into...
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Okay, we're back. Oh, it's louder. All right. We went into their offices, we climbed onto their roofs, we smashed up their factories, we went inside, broken and destroyed their weapons of war until they could not operate here any longer. And after a year and a half of sustained direct action, with the community mobilising week in and week out outside the factory, we just heard this Monday that they are packing their bags and they are leaving Oldham for good. That is the power of direct action. When the government take away your power, you take it back. If they introduce the bill, you ignore it. We have got Elbit out of Oldham, and now we have to get Elbit out of this country, full stop. We are not stopping. This is just the beginning. We have the power, and when we realise we have the power and we take that power into our hands, the powerful become powerless and we win. This is a victory for Manchester, this is a victory for the North, this is a victory, most importantly, for the people of Palestine who suffer under the brutality of the weapons built in factories around us, and we will continue to win for every single person. We will continue to win for humanity. We will defy this bill. They raided us, they beat us up, the police and security guards beat us up, they stole my passport, they did everything they could to intimidate us and to stop us, but we did not stop. And when you don't stop, you win. Thank you.
Free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Big up Palestine. Anyway, big up Palestine action. This is the thing about our movements. We stand in solidarity. We stand in solidarity with causes. We stand in solidarity with movements. We work together for the greater good. Yo, big mouth's gotta come out now. We work together because together we're stronger, united, we're never defeated. Yeah? Someone's give me another mic. This is grassroots. My mouth's big anyway, so I'm sure you can hear me. Money and proud. So, what's coming up next is a speaker from Greater Manchester keep our NHS open, and the reason that we've got a speaker here today is because there is a horrific bill coming in, and by taking away our right to protest, we're not going to be able to, we are going to be able to because we can, because we will, but they want to stop us from taking it to the streets to fight for our NHS. Now health, issues of health affect every single person here today. Every single person, no matter what stand you side in, whether you stood here with us, whether you stood over there, you know, everybody accesses the NHS in this country. So I'd like you all to welcome Pia, please.
Hello everybody. Yes, I'm speaking of Greater Manchester keep our NHS public, and we know, all of us know, that any decent civil and human rights that we enjoy today here had to be fought for. We had to organise together to fight for them. Just like 100 years ago in Peterloo, on Peter's Fields, right near here, people had to organise to demand the right to vote. Right from there, they had to fight against the people with money and power. And that's what the police bill is about. It's about the people with money and power telling the police who it's okay to do protest, who it is to demand rights. And we say no, we the people will demand our rights. So that's why we're here, we're an organisation here, because we demand a right for a public, free healthcare system that's open to all. Another reason why I'm here is because, and it's to our shame, that the NHS was a trail for the nationality bill. That is, that whereas the NHS when it started was available to everybody who lived in Britain, this Tory government brought in England a distinction between the people who were citizens of the UK and the people who were migrants or children of migrants, who were refugees, who were looking for work, looking for safety, looking for a refuge here. They made a distinction, and they said that those migrants had to pay to use the NHS. And our NHS went along with it. Our local NHS are charging migrants to use the NHS, to use the hospital services. Yes, and part of our campaign, and particularly a campaign called Patients Not Passports, are trying to fight that distinction, trying to fight that racist distinction. Fight it in the NHS, we want to fight it in what might be all the institutions in housing that are taking on this racist distinction. We've got to fight it now. We've got to kill the bill, kill both those bills, and keep us living in a humane, open society that's open to all refugees from all around the world, from all the wars that our British government has been party to causing all over the world. And we've got to fight and fight till we reduce it from our statute book, reduce it from our NHS.
One thing that the Police Crime and Sentencing Court Bill did was it brought together so many different communities. What it did was it united us all together as we were being attacked at the same time. Now this country, for years, generations, has worked to harm, endanger and eradicate the Gypsy, Roma, traveller and nomadic way of life. And this piece of legislation, in effect, criminalises the nomadic existence to a point where they want to stop them from being able to live as they have done for millennia. I, have got an amazing young woman about to come and speak to us now. My big fat Gypsy revolution. We are working towards a revolution, day in, day out. Welcome, Bolo Peeps.
You are all right today? Now wow, a lot of pep. So I'm here to talk about my community, the Gypsy Roma travelling community. And what I'm here to tell you is all, it's not just about the bill on paper, it's about decolonising the gather police mindset in all of your minds. Because I'm here to tell you that before Kill the Bill, those communities have always known for generations about the anti-police, about what the state does under an imperialist system. And I'm here to tell you that I won't be your pikey, I will not be your jippo, I will not be your knacker. We do not owe you as a community niceness, we do not owe you legality, we do not owe you like a palatable kind of niceness that you feel like you need to have to see us as people. I'm speaking up for all the gypsies and travellers who are in prisons. I'm speaking up to every gypsy and traveller kid who's currently being taken by social services and assimilated forcibly. Just be added on to wider movements when they impact wide general people. There has to be an actual effort and commitment to the Gypsy Roma traveller community, engaging with your community, protecting your community. Because right now, what I can tell you is when the armed tactical aid units turn up on site, it's me and a couple other travellers stood between it. My whole life...
Dragged out your trailers at fucking 6 in the morning.
Yeah, but yeah, this is the thing. Is that especially with the Gypsy Roma traveller community, no one wants to speak up for us and no one wants to be alongside us. You've been indoctrinated through my big fat gypsy weddings to believe that we are the criminal, we are the people that are beneath your feet. And no longer will my people's blood run down the streets of not just here, but in wider Europe. My community are currently facing segregation across Europe. Last year there was neo-Nazi riots on the streets of Budapest. There was forcible sterilisation of Romani women until 2018 in the Czech Republic. There is currently numerous cases of segregated schoolings, maternity units and everything across Europe, and this country is turning the same. We need you to turn up for us, because every damn day I open my DMs and I have about 50 messages from community members whose houses are taken off them, their kids are taken off them, and now their homes are going to be taken from on this bill. That is all of our inherited wealth in those trailers. Our stopping places at Chintans have been in place for 800 years, amongst the Romani slave trade under Oliver Cromwell, amongst the lynchings under the UK state. The whole reason we used the term gypsy was because it was used in the 1537 Egyptian Act, used to kill and maim us under the British Isles. We will no longer be palatable, unapologetically tacky, unapologetically mouthy, unapologetically
What we found is that our movements don't end on our shores, and the Nationality and Borders Bill proves that, because what we want to do now is, well, what we want to do, what they want to do, what Pretty Patel and her little minions want to do is stop people from coming here to our country. They want to illegalise seeking asylum, they want to criminalise people before they've landed, but do you know what? Britain are colonisers. This is what we do. We continue to create as a country. This country continues to create refugees across the world through the harm and the destruction they take, whether it be through the climate crisis, whether it be through war and genocide. They ensure that people need to seek refugee status on our shores. Now, in Kazakhstan, there at the moment is a huge amount of unrest. And we've got somebody here to let us know, because you know what? We stand in solidarity. We don't just talk to ourselves, we talk to our neighbour, we talk to every single person who needs a voice, because united, we will never be defeated. Kill the bill! Kill
prices went up and the people rose up. Brought out the police, militarised, and the army, and set fire. And people have been murdered across Kazakhstan over the last couple of weeks, rising for the right for a livable life. They are facing an intensely repressive government who have called on their neighbouring governments to bring in the army from their states as well. And you know what? Those states have. And the people of Kazakhstan are still out on the streets, fighting those militarised police, fighting those armies, and being repressed. That is potentially a more extreme circumstance than what some of us face here presently. But it is exactly the same logic from the state as what the policing bill and the nationality and borders bill brings in. They are bills that protect the state, they protect the interests of big business, and they crush ordinary people seeking a better life together. And as the people from Kazakhstan seek refuge in countries like ours, bills like the Nationality and Borders Bill will make it harder for them to find safety. So what we say is that we stand in solidarity with the people of Kazakhstan. We stand against all repressive states everywhere. And we stand with all people moving, whether they be Gypsy, Roma and traveller people, whether they be refugees or migrants seeking a better life, or whether they just be people crossing borders in general. We stand with you all. I've got the mic here instead of one of the Kazakhstan people here because they're worried that if they get a big platform, it'll go viral and their media will pick it up and the government will oppress their families. We must stand against that. The Kazakhstani people demand the freedom of all political prisoners and the freedom of speech. So give it up for them and kill the bill. Kill the bill! 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 Kill the bill!
So Kill the Bill as a movement is a collective of grassroots organisations that work to counteract state harm. Now Manchester has got a beautiful history of resistance. We're good at it. Of course we are. Working class communities, racially diverse communities. So one of the organisations that I want to big up today, and I'm going to bring on the speaker now in a minute, is No Borders. Now No Borders put in the graft. Because we're not scared of work in this city. It's what we're good at. We will graft and we will look after our own. So I'm going to bring on Tanya, and she's going to chat to you about the work that No Borders do and the threats that we're about to face.
The Nationality and Borders Bill is part of a long history of legislation that excludes and demonises migrants and ethnic minorities. It scapegoats migrants, treats them as suspicious, not credible. It rests on the tropes of the bad migrant, the dangerous migrant, the bogus asylum seeker. We reject those tropes. The Borders Bill is predicated on a false divide of good and bad migrants, penalising people who arrive by so-called irregular routes, affecting their ability to get status, housing, support. No human is illegal. We should not be dividing people like this. Borders kill. And when we say borders kill, we mean that. People who die in the Channel trying to seek safety in the UK. Another person just yesterday. People who die in the back of lorries. But when we say borders kill, we refer to the borders that manifest in every part of life in the UK. So when we say borders kill, we refer to people like Mercy Baguma, who died because she had no recourse to public funds, who died in destitution. We refer to people who take their own lives when faced with the hostility of the state, when they're coming here to seek sanctuary. People who are excluded, marginalised by bordering practices that prevent people from seeking support, block them from employment, lock them up in detention centres. So when we say borders kill, that's exactly what we mean. And the government is seeking to further intensify and securitise our borders, which will inevitably cause further deaths. So we need to resist that. We reject this and the divisive, exclusionary politics of immigration that pervade our politics. We must abolish detention, end deportation, and put a stop to the hostile environment. All people should have the right to move and the right to stay. An alternative future is... But that's going to take a lot of resistance, a lot of protest, solidarity. But it also rests on building communities that care for each other. So we must kill this bill. We need to kill all the bills. And we build an alternative by standing together. So if you have energy and ideas to resist hostile bordering, come along to Migrants Organise Solidarity Knows No Borders event this Thursday, the 20th on Zoom at 6 PM. We will be there talking about resistance that you can get involved in Manchester. Follow us on social media, come speak to us. Well, I don't know where our banner is, but wherever it is, come speak to us, get involved. Let's kill this fucking bill.
But you know what? You people pull it back round for me because you are all beautiful and dedicated out here on the streets. Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! So we've got different people here today that are representing unions. And you know what? If you are in a union, join one. Join a union. Like, make it. Just do it. So, we've got a speaker now from Acorn, and Yuli's going to have a chat with you. Energy, energy, energy!
Hi! Dear friends, it's so wonderful to see you all today and to be part of the national movement opposing dangerous and undemocratic police crime sentencing and courts bill. Whatever movement we are part of, we're all here today because we know that protest, civil disobedience, and collective power on the streets work. The evidence of it is right in front of our eyes. From 5-day working week and workers' rights to wheelchair users that can use trams that stop on the station behind us, to the LGBTQ+ communities who can live freely and exist freely without having cops harassing them for who they are and who they love. Those rights have never been handed down to us as a gesture of a goodwill. Those rights have been fought for. They have been fought for by people who weren't afraid to break the rules. People who were happy to cause disruption to an organisation, which this policing bill seeks to outlaw. The government is bringing this bill as an act of desperation. They have offered nothing on the issues that matter to most people. Their record on environment, education, employment, housing and public health is shocking. They know that inflation and the cutbacks they're already planning will hit poorer people hard, and they are terrified of the consequences. So they landed on law and order as the way out of crisis, giving police more power while hiding their own powerlessness. This is authoritarianism, but people at the top lost all the authority. In search of a scapegoat, this government manufactured caricatures out of environmental activists and people in migrant solidarity movement. They painted them as crusties, as hobbies, with nothing in common with working people, but this is laughable. Working class aren't pig ignorant racists who don't care about climate change, no matter how much some people would love to believe we are. The fact is, the right to protest, to cause disruption, to openly confront those with power is a bread and butter issue of a working class community. That is how we hold some landlords to the account. This is how
Fuck landlords! Get a proper job!
This is how we protect our green spaces. This is how the disempowered force this country to be more democratic.
Yes!
In Acorn, we know that sometimes 20 people outside the letting agency or 200 people outside the town hall can change the balance of power between those who have money and those who only have each other. Like getting renter compensation, stopping illegal eviction, or getting the services we and our communities deserve. The tactics that we use against slum landlords, big letting agency bosses and their hangers-on will always be disruptive. We will always be loud. We are proud to say we will willfully cause annoyance whenever we take action. This is how we win. And we don't intend to stop winning. Or to allow our communities to be walked all over. This is, if this scum thinks that they can force us into silence, they got another thing coming! Kill the bill! 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 Every time we'll be on the picket line. Every eviction, every time we'll be on the picket line.
Energy. So that's one thing that I think everyone needs to be aware of. So Kill the Bill isn't just about protesting. Kill the Bill is about setting up what we need to do to counteract that. We say counteract harm. So in Manchester we've got a Northern Police Monitoring Project who actively work, we do casework, we look out for when people need support around access to legal support. We've got a cop watch group that's been set up, and there are people here today from the cop watch, and they're going to be about in busy areas because stop and search is a huge problem in this city, and this will only increase under the Police Crime and Sentencing Courts bill. And we know that stop and search as a mechanism of the police is racist in its foundation. There are certain communities, the black and brown communities, that will always be heavily impacted by policing, and that's just the way it goes because policing was built through colonialism. In its foundation, the institutional racism is there. Now what we also have seen in this city especially is the use of something called joint enterprise. Now, joint enterprise has destroyed some of our communities. It's torn to pieces families that we've got in this city. And we are very, very honoured today to have a representative of JENGBA. JENGBA stands for Joint Enterprise, Not Guilty by Association. Can we all give it up for Jan, please?
There's some flyers going around, but I haven't got very many. But I think the most important thing you need to do is Google us and learn about what the campaign is, because it would take far too long for me to explain. But basically, you can be convicted of a murder and given a life sentence for murder, even if you wasn't at the scene of the murder. Even if you didn't know it was going to happen, you didn't plan it, you'd had nothing to do with it. Now that's been going on in this country for over 32 years. So in 1984, the laws took a wrong turn. The judges and the prosecutors allowed that to happen. And it took the campaign to go to the Supreme Court with a case for them to acknowledge that there'd been 32 years of injustice. So for 3 decades, people were being given life sentences for crimes that they hadn't committed. And the youngest person that we represent was 12 years old. So 12 years old and 11 years old, you can still go to prison for life in this country. So that's another battle that we're going to fight. But we won at the Supreme Court. They told us that they'd got it wrong, that it would have caused miscarriages of justice, and we support, I think it's 1,500 people, men, women and children, and they'll rule because they've only quashed 1 conviction, because all of those people who were wrongly convicted that we support now have to prove they're innocent, even though the law, when they went to trial, proved that they were innocent but still found them guilty. So we've got a huge fight. We've got this bill here, and joint enterprise kind of underpins the whole of this bill. They need joint enterprise, because if you protest, they need joint enterprise so that they can charge you with a joint enterprise and convict you. Even if you're right at the back of the protest, minding your own business, you could get convicted with someone who's climbing a tree and throwing bottles. So it's a dangerous law, and it's used so often for people who haven't actually committed a crime, because you don't need to have evidence. So you need to support our campaign, because everything that is in this bill, they need joint enterprise to make this bill work. So we've got people who are about to come out of prison that we support, and they're going to put them on an aeroplane and send them back to another country. People who were children when they came to this country, people who are being deported because they're criminals, even though they didn't commit the crime that they went to prison for. So it goes around and round in circles. The injustice keeps going on. And we're talking about kill the bill. But there's one bill that we don't want to kill, and that's the bill that Jemba's going to launch in the House of Lords on the 1st of February. And it's a bill to tackle the injustice, because if these bastards can write bills and we have to obey them, then it's time we wrote a bill and made them do the right thing for us. We're not lawyers, we're just mums and dads who love our children, and we've been fighting for 12 years. I've been fighting for nearly 14 years for my son. I'm not a lawyer, it's damned hard, but I can learn the language of the law. I can learn the language of writing a bill. I can invite you to my house, and you can invite me to the House of Lords. But we need every single person in this country to back us with this bill, because if we can get this bill through, just little women at our kitchen tables, then absolutely every single one of us can get a bill through.
Go and get a warm now. That's what I think. Manchester's cold in it. And you know what? We've got a couple more amazing speakers, and we just want to thank each and every single one of you for sticking with us today. I've just seen a picture of what we look like on Market Street, and me. It was beautiful. Because I'll ask you again, whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! So, we've heard about unions, and we've heard about strikes, and we've heard about protests. Now I'm inviting somebody to come and speak to you who currently is stood on a picket line. Currently, every single day there are a group of people who are defending their rights as workers, because unless we make those stands, they ain't going to listen, and that's why they want us to shut up. But Manchester is not a quiet city. We have got energy! Speaking now.
Currently we're on strike. It's 5 days a week, 24 hours a day, and obviously this bill needs killing, because things like this it'll stop. So if we don't all show solidarity and stand up together, then basically we're going to be screwed going forward as a society. So I've just come to basically speak to you all, show you some solidarity, and you know, fight as we go forward, and basically just kill this bill. Basically we're on Village Way in Trafford Park, not far from the Old Trafford. So if anyone wants to go, come down, show some support, it'd be much appreciated. Thanks a lot, cheers.
I'm speaking on behalf of Manchester Trade Union Council, which is like the umbrella group for unions in the city, and you can hardly be surprised that the Tories are trying to restrict everyone's right to protest, because they keep giving us so many good reasons to protest. Now, we've got the fact that inflation's now 7.1%, they've cut universal credit, we're expecting fuel prices go up again by another 50% in April. We've got national insurance going up, they're cutting pensions by cutting the triple lock. They're giving MPs at the same time as all that a massive pay rise over £2,000 a year. We've got the climate crisis accelerating, we've got racist and misogynist police violence, we've got corruption. I mean, isn't it amazing? that court case that ruled that it had been illegal for them to fast-track their mates to provide PPE contracts, that barely made the news because it was obscured by all the other rubbish they were up to at Partygate. And then there's the fact that they've killed hundreds of thousands of people by their abominable handling of COVID. And so many of us have lost people we loved or seen people saddled with long COVID because of their negligence and their failure to look after us. But people are fighting back, and it was great to come on with Gary because, you know, CHEP workers there are on strike for better pay. We've got up in Oldham, first bus strikers there for the same issue, and I think there's a little bit of an uptick in people fighting back and standing up for themselves despite the anti-union laws that we've had to shackle us for so many years. So the Tories have got no answers to any of our problems. Their only answer is more repression, and that's why we face these bills. And they hope that they can try to get support for those by making it populist, by finding people to pick on and to scapegoat who they think will be unpopular. So they like to target Gypsy, Roma and traveller communities. They like to target migrants. They like to divide and rule. But that's why it's so great to see so many groups coming here together to stand united and resist. It's probable that this bill is going to go through Parliament because the Tories have a big majority, and we're going to have to carry on fighting and not allow that to cow us and stop us protesting. We have to avoid what the media so often do, of trying to divide us into good protesters and bad protesters. Because what makes us strong is our solidarity. When we stand together and we say we have a right to protest, we have a right to stand up and be heard against all the injustices that we face. So I'd echo what was said earlier. If you're not in a union, join one. We have to rebuild power in our workplaces and our communities, and rebuild solidarity, which is the strength we need to win.
I think that everyone really needs to understand, and it's that everybody has a part to play in this. There's no one person, like you've heard me, big mouth here on a mic, and that's quite a big mouth. But there's other people that do things that I can't do, and that's tech. Ask me to make a meme, I can't even do that. Ask me to put together a newsletter, I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? So there are people that do different things behind the scenes, in front of your faces. We've had a huge amount of people that have been out flyering and leafleting as part of our outreach and engagement strategy all week, so I just really want to big them up because the outreach team have been dedicated in this Manchester freezing cold, during rush hour, giving out leaflets across the city, so big up to them, please. And then what you also have are people that surround us through what they do for a living, and people who offer us support, whether it be through MSD support, whether it be legal support, legal representation, legal specialists. Like within this movement, we've got teams of lawyers who have broken down both of these pieces of legislation to make it digestible and understandable for us, because I can't do that. I can't read law. But once you give me a little breakdown, I can tell you what the harms are because somebody else has put that graft in. So big up to every single person involved in Kill the Bill. And I also just want to shout out the fact that I know that people have travelled today. They might not be here now, they might have had to run off with the train back. But I know that people have come here from other cities today to join us. We've had people from Liverpool, from across Merseyside, and I know we're rivals in football, but we're not rivals in this. We've had people come up from Lancaster, we've had people from Bolton, all across Greater Manchester, because when the North West comes together, we are ready for a ruckus. Now there's somebody that's going to come up and speak to you now who I met through the People's Assembly, and before I bring him on, what I want to do is just give a shout out to a demo that's being arranged on the 12th of February. And we heard before about Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan, how the fuel prices went up. That's about to happen to us. We're all going to see that increase in cost of living, and we're all going to have to unite to make sure that what they do is they nationalise our services, and that the power comes back to the people, and we set the tariffs and we tell them what's affordable, because I am not going to work to not live. We do not live to provide work only. We live to experience joy. We live enjoy the people that we love. And let's just say it, I live so that I can go and sit in the sun somewhere, do you know what I mean? I love the sun. I live here in Manchester, we all have to find enjoyment in life. So what I want to do is I want to bring on Mr. Lazar. And a big, big thank you to you beautiful people once again before he speaks.
Thank you. Kill the bill! So I'm Robert Lazar from Jewish Voice for Labour, but I'm also a lawyer. I work as part of a legal team, and we've been defending people who've been charged with offences arising out of protest for many years. And this bill is aimed at taking away that fundamental right that we have fought for hundreds of years. Someone mentioned Peterloo 200 years ago, when the right to vote was won by us. It wasn't handed down to us, it wasn't thrown to us as a scrap from the rich and powerful table of those in power. It was won by protest and by people standing out and fighting. And that's been the history in relation to all the rights we've won. In relation to trade unions, we had to fight to get the right to form trade unions. They stopped the strikes by legal measures in 1901, and the trade unions came out on the streets. There were protests, and after a fight, it was passed through Parliament that the right to strike was there. I have to say, this Tory government is trying to take that away again with the 2016 Act, which makes it really difficult now for trade unions to do that. So when we win a right, it's not won forever. We have to keep fighting for it. When women went out on the streets, the suffragettes, they had to fight to get the vote. We had to fight for equal pay. So everything has had to be fought for. It's never been handed down. I want to talk a bit about this police bill because it has so many elements to it which will try to crush this very type of meeting that we're having today. There will be penalties for people who are organising meetings which are not in accordance with conditions. What conditions? Well, if you make too much noise, can you make a noise? If you make too much noise, then you will be breaking the terms of the conditions that the police may be setting. You may be causing disruption to people. Well, we want to disrupt people to get some attention, don't we? We want to be heard. The police bill also brings in heavy penalties, extremely heavy penalties for people obstructing roads and airports. It brings in penalties of up to 10 years for people creating a public nuisance. This is a new offence of a public nuisance. Causing serious annoyance is one element in that. Well, I think we can agree that there's a group of people in Downing Street who are causing extremely serious annoyance to us. They're the ones who need banging up. It creates, in addition to that offence, it creates a new offence of trespass. That's a criminal offence now if this goes through, and people have already mentioned that it will absolutely devastate the way of life of Gypsy, Roma and traveller people in their communities, who have, many of them have for hundreds of years or longer been moving around this country freely, moving to different sites, and that will criminalise that. But it can also be used against people who occupy buildings. It can be used against people picketing. So there are huge threats. The bill has so many terrible elements in it that rather than focus on one or two, I think we should see it as part of a raft of attacks on our basic rights. So people have talked about the Nationality and Borders Bill, a really deadly attack on refugees. as part of a racist narrative which has been pumped out by our news media for so long now. So that's part of it. The attack on judicial review, where ordinary people have the chance to challenge the decisions of those in power. The Spy Cops bill, which has already gone through, which gives the police and the security services the right to commit criminal offences against anybody in this country with impunity. It says that they will not be punished for that. And of course, the proposed attacks on the Human Rights Act, because one of the many rights in the European Convention is the right to free assembly. That's where we are now. So there's a range of attacks against these basic rights that we have taken for granted. And that's why we're here today, isn't it? To try and defend them. And I want to say we can win. And there's been a series of victories against this kind of move in the past. I've talked about the trade unions campaign to win the right to strike. In 1971, there was a campaign called "Would You Believe It? Kill the Bill," and that was about further restrictions on trade union rights. And that was a successful campaign, and that bill was knocked back and withdrawn. And of course, more recently, we've got the fantastic victory at Elbit. We've got many victories. Even Thatcher was defeated on the poll tax bill, and they had to pull that back. So the answer is that we will win by standing together, by standing in solidarity. So let's all join again together. Kill the bill!
Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Thank you! Right, thank you for lasting the afternoon, because it is getting cold. But I've got one more little speaker, and then you all get to go and have your tea, because one thing that I really want to make clear, none of us want to be spending our time in the cold when we could be at home enjoying our lives. But we do this because it's for everybody, we do this because it's needed, and even when people think that they can take our rights away, we'll still be here. Because one thing that has been embedded into the Kill the Bill movement is that we will not be moved. We will still be out here. And that is why we need to band together and ensure that we stand united moving forward. We are more than them. The power sits with us. So, last speaker, Greater Manchester Immigration Aid Unit. Welcome, Rivka!
Hi, I'm just going to say a little bit about the Nationality and Borders Bill, because the right to seek asylum in this country is under attack. I'm Rivka, I'm from Greater Manchester Immigration Aid Unit. Our lawyers and caseworkers represent people who are subjected to the hostile environment and immigration controls. And we were born out of protest. We were founded in 1989, and it was out of the anti-racist movements of the 1980s, fighting immigration raids, deportations, separation of families. So for this fight, the fight against the policing bill and the borders bill, to be fought as one fight, makes so much sense to us as an organisation. The government wants us to think of refugees as distinct from the general public. They distance people from community and from solidarity when they imprison them in barracks or detention centres. They make it harder for refugees to find communities and build lives there. When they trap them in poverty, when they don't allow people to work, when they make it impossibly difficult to access permanent, secure status. That's how they want to get away with demonising refugees and treating them as less than human. Our power is in community, and it's in the knowledge that refugees are our friends, our neighbours. And as this bill passes and becomes law, we must continue to stand up in solidarity with refugees and defend people's rights. There's a quote that I found in a leaflet from 1989 explaining why GMIU was being set up, and it said, "Good lawyers or solicitors are not always enough. The mobilisation of communities is the best help for people threatened by the immigration laws." And I'll end on that note and by saying that these bills passing is not the end, it's only the beginning, and we'll keep fighting.
I had a list of speakers, and that was your penultimate speaker. We've got one more, and that's because Sarah didn't read. So, quickly, for a shout out for stuff going forward, it's not a big speech about what's going on because we've heard about Extinction Rebellion and we know, but this is about young people coming united in our city because young people are backbone. They're the backbone of now and they're the backbone of the future. So welcome Climate Squad.
Hi, thank you all, and sorry, we're going to try and be really fast. So we're from a new group called Youth Climate Swarm, and as speakers have said before, many of the rights that we take for granted today have come about through protest. Protest is the fast way of getting change, and we could wait around for politicians, but for some things we simply shouldn't have to. Without the brave people who have stepped up into civil resistance in the past, our world would be a darker place, and I want to honour all those people and all the people that are fighting annihilation here as well.
So, we're standing here surrounded by all these amazing people to tell you that our time to step up has come once again. Former Chief Scientific Advisor to multiple UK governments, Sir David King, has said we have 2 to 3 years before humanity loses control over the climate. 2 to 3 years, which is when my uni course finishes. Let me repeat, if this isn't sorted in the next 2 to 3 years, people like me, people in the crowd, we're not going to get to grow old. And this movement, this organisation we're in, is about telling the truth. And the truth fucking hurts.
Yes!
I don't want to be here telling you this because we've had so many inspirational speakers before us, but we have to tell the truth to survive. And this is the truth.
Tell the truth! Tell the truth! Tell the truth! Tell the truth! Tell the truth!
How to make governments act, because oppressed people have done it time and time again throughout history. And what did they do? Whatever it non-violently takes, because they couldn't afford to lose, and we can't afford to lose right now.
I don't want to tell you this. This is peer-reviewed science. I'm a law student. I know nothing about this. I'm simply repeating peer-reviewed science. When I talk about 2 to 3 years to stop runaway climate catastrophe, this means one simple thing. In the 2030s, I'll be 31. Central America, southwest of the USA, southern Europe, most of Africa, all of the Middle East, India, Australia will be physically too hot to live in. Societies will collapse. We've seen in Syria and the Congo that societal collapse means mass starvation, mass slaughter and mass rape in the 2030s. This is peer-reviewed science. This is not me, this is peer-reviewed science.
Yes!
10 years from now, this is what we're facing. If we don't stop the climate crisis within 2 to 3 years.
The time for marches is over. What we're talking about is blocking roads, blocking motorways, blocking key infrastructure that governments depend on. Because it is the least we can do. That is how change actually happens. We're in an emergency, so we should fucking act like it.
And that's what we're here for. We need to act like we're in an emergency, because the science is telling us we're in an emergency. We need to fucking act like it. So if you want to be a part of history, we've got plans, we've got talks all over the country. If you're a student or a young person, we're doing over 120 talks around unis around the UK. Youth Climate Storm Sedgwick, just off oil. It's time to step up, and we have a plan. If you want to find out, you know where to look.
So, get on your social media, Youth Climate Swarm. Youth Climate Swarm, they're going to be hosting some open meetings to get whoever wants to be involved, because the climate crisis is now. So, we're going to disperse now. We're all going to get home safe and sound. We're going to go home and have a nice break, get some tea. We're going to be super, super proud that we've been out here today. Somebody just show me some pictures on the MEN. So, before we go, there's only a few of us left, but let's make some noise. We'll see you next time. Thank you. To our base sign language interpreters. No justice. No peace. No racist. Police. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Hill Street. Our Street. Hill Street. Our Street. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Love you all, you beautiful people.
Would anyone like to hear a poem? Yeah? Awesome. I wrote this very recently. I shout to the twisted Tory pig fuckers that twist the minds of others, cheer behind their most evil of brothers, suppressing our noise and our alternative voice, but really it's the corporate chains controlling our choice. Trapped in an illusion designed to silence, hacking our minds for cognitive compliance, to strip us down bare, unprepared for this better future. Fuck me, I'm scared. From the golden tower of corporate political collusion continues the disgusting shower of delusion. In the age of post-truth, they can steal from our garden, our fruit, but they all want their portfolio to bloom, to show how they can endlessly consume. Nom nom, fucking nom, their fuel is to feel like top dom. Society is cornered, tortured into hate. Just a window, just a tiny window to escape. We are the action fueled by disgrace. Disgrace at the strides to that dystopian place. We are the opposition. We must stand strong. Hold this position. No submission. Of course, in this big island of snakes, there's little room for mistakes. But our love's vast capacity creates the space for fearless audacity in the face of apocalyptic pedo-principality. We need to enact a solution before we choke on their pollution. Anarchism has a chime that rings like the end of time. But let's open our minds and halt our drive for economic climb. Yes, technology has brought our capabilities to flower, but we are in the cycle of life. It must die and spread, so should the power. Each of us is a single feather pushed around in this brutal weather. But when we come together, not just as a wing, but as a span. A whole flock with a plan. We will lead a new change, break free from this cage, swoop down and extinguish this ecocidal flame.
There's a heavy police presence in St. Peter's Square and around, so when you're leaving, please try to leave with people. Remember, if they ask you any questions, what do you say? No comment! If they ask you any questions, what do you say? No comment! Thank you. The police in blue bibs are not our friends. The police in yellow bibs are our friends. The police undercover are not our friends. They are not here to help us. Go home safe. Take care of your comrades. Check in when you're home. We'll see you on the streets next time.
Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Next one I know about is next Saturday is the Freedom March, but if anyone knows of any protests before then, I'll cover them. So yeah, smash like, share it out everywhere, and see you next Saturday for the Manchester Freedom March. I won't be covering London because I make Manchester my priority, so if there's one in Manchester I do that. Yeah, see you next week.